Hi guys, welcome back to another Three Amigos video. Today I'm here with Tiffany, who's our model today, and today we are doing a Noctilux showdown between a Canon 0.95, also known as the Dream lens, built in production in the 1960s, versus my own Noctilux E60. So this is about a 1980 sort of version. This is Keaton's M9 monochrome with this lens. This is my M9 monochrome with my lens. So we're going to take some portraits here. And this is the sort of timing of the day where the monochrome really shines. It's about almost 7 p.m. so it's actually quite dark. And so we're gonna get some nice portraits, compare the two lenses and see which brand is better, Leica or Canon. That is from the Dream, and the one on the right is from the Noctilux.
Yeah.
So, Junior, what do you feel?
I mean, for me, the Dream lens, the background is blown away, right?
Yeah,
it looks like an oil painting, kind of. It just can't make anything out of it.
Yeah, so like on the Noctilux, you kind of see the trees. You can sort of make the outline of the trees and the building, right?
Yeah.
But and just look at how the out of focus areas renders on like the foreground with the railing. Like it's so crazy on the Canon.
It is. It's I would say it's very chaotic in the sense that it's not a very smooth transition.
Yeah.
While if you look at the Leica one, it's much smoother in terms of the transition.
Yeah.
And obviously the center area of the picture is also much sharper as well.
So I mean, or not without zooming into the photos, you can sort of see like there's more. Like if you zoom into her face, like you can definitely see more details in the hair, and when comparing it to like the Dream, and obviously both aren't sharp photos by modern day standards, but I think with portrait photography, you actually don't want really clinically sharp photos. You want to show all the sort of freckles, makeup, imperfections. So that's one of the appeal of these sort of classic lenses as well.
Yeah, but I think we can also see why the Canon is called the Dream lens.
Yeah.
Because it definitely has that kind of haze, mist, like the dreamy look.
Like a glow.
I wouldn't say like a glow, it's more like a Canon glow, if there is any. Back in the days there was, at least.
Never heard of such a term before.
Yeah, it's a term that died off.
Yeah.
But I do think that at least the Canon one, you don't really have a very sharp picture, but I wouldn't say it's bad to be this kind. Assuming that it's a Dream lens and what you're rendering out of it is going to have this look. Yeah. It's up to each person, what they prefer on price.
One thing to note though, while I was using, because obviously the Canon is modified to have an M coupling, and the Canon was quite a bit bigger than the Noctilux. And as you know how rangefinders camera works is like there's the light source that comes in from the front of the camera, which light up the frame line and allows you to focus. So I found it actually a little bit harder to focus with the Dream lens because I think it was blocking a bit of the light. So part of the rangefinder patch, like the contrast was a bit darker. So that's why perhaps in some of the photos you might find the focus to be a little bit off because, as you know, M9 monochrome, no live view as well. So
the coupling is not there, right, for the LTM?
No, it is there. It's there.
Oh,
it's there.
okay.
There's coupling. So it's a modified to that coupling. So you can use it like a rangefinder, but I found it a little bit more difficult because the patch wasn't as contrasty because I think it was blocking a bit of the light that was coming through the front of the lens.
Okay.
Yeah, but still usable otherwise. Yeah. So
what else can we say about this picture? I think
we compare just looking at her arm, right? Like you can sort of see like the sort of that really glowy effect, right? Like you can see if you compare like her blouse, you can see more definition in the Leica.
For sure.
You can see the pattern, whereas in the other one, it's like you put there's one layer of Vaseline on the Noctilux and there's two layers on the Canon Dream, right?
That's how I would put it as well. I think even the details you can see on the Leica side, the veins, the veins, the details, right, is definitely more present than in the Canon one.
Yeah. So, both are very nice portrait lenses.
Yeah, I would say it's. I mean, that's why the Canon has that appeal. Is that if you're into that kind of dreamy look, certainly that's one.
Yeah.
But I would say for me personally, I would rather have a bit more like of a sharper.
Okay. So you prefer Leica?
I do prefer the Leica one. I mean, at certain areas, like for example, this one here, I would prefer. I think there might be some pictures where I prefer the Dream lens more.
Okay.
It depends on really the light situation as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's see which one.
Okay.
So which one do you want to pick?
Let's
Go
pick. We have this one. That's an Noctilux, and then we also had.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So again, apologize. It's not like completely the exact composition, but.
Yeah, so I think, I mean, you can see a little bit of what we were talking about just now, right? The Dream lens, the light, the way that it diffuses more, like on the Dream lens is more diffuse. I feel, right? It's on the Leica one, you can tell like these the chair area, the underlight, it's very directed.
You can tell there's definitely a lot more contrast in the black and white photo. In the Noctilux. Whereas the Dream is like, even like the layering between the two. I mean, both of these were shot wide open, but there seems to be, you seem to get a little bit more separation on the. It feels like there's more separation on the Canon one because it's more blown out.
It's more blown out, yeah.
So,
I just feel like the way that the Dream lens handles the light, it disperses it a lot more than the Leica one.
I mean, this is probably influenced by a lot of factors, like obviously how many like the coatings at the time, and how the lens were built. And I think obviously as lenses have progressed nowadays, like even if you shoot direct sunlight into modern day lenses, you don't get any flaring, right? But like for these sort of lenses to render, and this is just sort of like it was a pretty soft lighting from the ground, but you can see even at that juncture, it just completely gets drowned out in the background, basically.
Yeah, so like for example, this picture, I do prefer, in my preference, I prefer the Dream lens, just because it gives me that kind of like, I use black mist often. It gives me that kind of mist look.
Actually, I do agree that in this photo, I like the Canon Dream a bit more, because I feel like in the Noctilux, you don't get that separation, and two, it that sort of because it's a bit more contrasty, so it kind of draws your attention to the background. So the subject doesn't isolate as much. It doesn't stand out as much.
True. Yeah.
So surprise. I do quite like the Canon Dream's rendering in this photo. It does come out very nicely.
Yeah, I think So again, I think each lens has their corresponding kind of a use case, and as a matter of whatever the light situation is. But I think like again, if you look at just the railing actually aspect of this. So you can see on the Leica one is again very sharp. You can make the vertical lines, but on the Canon one it gets a bit harder because
you can even see like there's more bokeh. Like it just gets blown out basically.
Yeah, literally it blows the background completely, right? So so I think cool. Yeah, we can already see like even just the light here. It looks thicker in a way, right?
So in the Leica one, you can actually see the railing separated from the light, but here it's just like one ball of light. Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
What else?
I think I took one, then I did one here. I think I want to have. Yeah. Okay.
So this is now the Canon one, right?
That's the Canon, yeah.
Yeah, so on the right side we have Canon, and then left side the Leica one. So in here, which one do you prefer?
Well, okay, to be fair, I think something we need to point out, I think there's something, because we were shooting on the escalator, and I think one of the cameras was set at a minimum shutter speed, whereas the other one wasn't. So that's why this one is shot at 190, then it's shot at 190.
Oh, I see. Because I was trying to figure out what happened to like this image.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that and
it's interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So one is shot at 2000 ISO, one is shot at 320 ISO.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, first of all, the M9M does perform. Even at 2000 ISO, the grain is pretty acceptable, right, for a 15-year-old camera, and well, it was also shot at f1.0 because I think it can't read the aperture coming off the camera. But I think looking at this photo, I mean, you definitely can note that again, if you look at the details in the hair, but obviously because we're shooting on an escalator, so the lighting might have changed as we were going up, because I think that was a bit dynamic as well. But I think it's similar sort of to the first photo where you get a bit more sharpness, a little bit more contrast. And again, like you're looking at the out of focus areas. I mean, both are very like dreamy, both are very oil painting-esque. But I think for the Canon Dream, you definitely get more. Like, look how this blows out in the background.
Yeah.
At the out of focus areas. But whereas the Leica is a little bit more controlled, you can sort of make out what's going on in the background.
I think that's a good way to put it. I think the Leica one is definitely more controlled.
Yeah.
So it is very consistent across the pictures in terms of what you expect out of the lens. The Canon one, yes, fair enough. This was shot at 1/20th, right? And technically it's on escalator, so it's granted. But I still think that at this handheld, like you can still make the hair a little bit, even though I would expect this to be blurred at this stage, but it's actually surprisingly still quite in focus.
Yeah, I would accept that as a photo.
Yeah, I would definitely use it. So I would say like again, the background is just completely melted on the Canon one, but again, the face features are not as defined or not as sharp as the Leica one. Yeah. So in this case, again, I would prefer the Leica one.
Like I guess in almost in a way, like I guess because again, might be the lighting conditions and the faster shutter speed in ISO, but like here you can sort of like from this angle you can actually see like the neck. Like if you look at the jawline, you can sort of differentiate the two. I think.
Yeah, the fall off.
Whereas here it almost becomes a little bit mushed together in a way. Yeah. Okay.
I think the other thing is that this is probably taken at a different stage of the escalator, but in a way, on the Canon one, you can't really tell the stairs, right? It's like the steps out of the escalator, but in the Leica one, you can clearly see. Okay. So this is the Leica one.
So I think I have one. Oh, sorry, but here. Okay.
Okay, so Canon on the right and the Leica on the left.
So this was shot at pretty dark. It was almost like 8 p.m. at the time. And
it's interesting. Like I would say like the left side, it's what I would imagine if I'm watching like those old movies, like black and white, like Oppenheimer, for example, like that kind of style. Like it's sharp, everything is detailed. This one is like I'm in a dream. Like if I had to recollect a dream, that's how I would recollect. Right?
But surprisingly, in like such a harsh sort of lighting condition, like because in this photo, the light was coming from a street light from the model's left side, so we can sort of see how like I actually prefer the lighting on the Canon one, because here you can sort of, I think because it sort of lights up, like it almost becomes like a highlight. But whereas I think because on the Canon it's just
diffuses, right?
More like you know how it handles the light, it's just more diffuse. So it doesn't appear as in your face. Like it doesn't look that artificial in a way.
I do agree, because like on the Canon one, it almost looks like her arm is like glowing in a way. While this one is like you said, like just a very sharp, a bit harsher. Yeah, definitely. Like in this case, I would think the Canon one, just for that dream like diffuse light that I get out of this picture, I quite like this one.
Yeah, I think in this, I would prefer the Canon one as well. Okay.
Yeah, you guys actually can let us know in the comments which ones you prefer out of these pictures. It's possible that majority likes the Leica one, which is fine. It's just up to everyone's taste.
Okay.
Oh, these are pretty dark.
Yeah.
You can tell the contrast out of it.
Yeah. So again, this is also shot with like really high contrast situation. Only one street light coming from the model's left, and this was like 7-8 p.m. already. And
it's very interesting actually. Like, what is this area here? Is it like the shadow?
I think it's a light coming from the from behind,
that gives a nice effect.
Yeah.
Okay, I this is my opinion. I feel like somehow it almost looks like there is like a glow
Yeah.
around.
Yeah.
Do you see like
Yeah,
this?
yeah, yeah. Like coming around like the rim of her hand.
Yeah.
Right?
Like, even the hair here,
Yeah.
there is this kind of glow line
Yeah.
that happens here,
Yeah.
which is interesting because that is not very normal for Canon to have that kind of glow, right? So therefore, yeah, there is a Canon glow at some point, not anymore, I guess. But yeah, I think in this picture, I would, even though I like the glow, I like the contrast of the Leica one.
Yeah.
I feel it's, yeah, in this case, I would pick the Leica one. Yeah, for the contrast.
I think like actually for me, I would actually like think that in terms of the uniqueness of the photo, like something that you probably can't get from like a modern day lens. I actually prefer the Canon one.
Interesting, yeah.
Yeah. So, but again, so I think at the end of the day, I mean, both are great lenses, and for portraits, especially on black and white, definitely both very dreamy.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously with the Leica, you also have other alternatives. There are many different versions of the Noctilux, which will give different renderings. I think the most famous sort of like, or I think if we were to compare, really compare like the dream lens of Leica would probably be like the first generation of the Noctilux, so like the E58. But again, that lens is double in price. So I think comparing price differences, that's something to consider as well.
Right. How is the rendering of the first version actually? Is it similar to, I guess...
So it would be more similar to the Dream, actually.
Is it similar?
So it's even more, yeah, so it's actually even more painting, oil painting sort of effect. But I think for that one, it's even more, well, that lens is double the price.
Yeah,
it's
right.
It's an even more rare lens to acquire. And
So where are you getting that one?
when we hit 10,000.
Yeah. 10,000.
Okay. so yeah, I think somewhere along the way,
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So if we were to compare sort of lenses, I mean, how much does like a good copy of the Dream go for nowadays?
I mean, the yen is super cheap right now, so I
Yeah.
think right now it goes for like 1,500 USD. It's like 16,000 Hong Kong dollars actually.
Really?
Yeah, it's super cheap right now because the yen is so cheap.
That's true.
Yeah, then the prices actually dropped quite a bit on the
Okay.
yen, on the lens itself.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay. Well, that's something to consider. I mean, the Noctilux, I think good copies of any cheaper Noctilux would be in the range of 5,000 to 6,000 US dollars, right? So you're paying 3 times or 4 times the price.
Yeah.
Okay. So, but I think you can't go wrong with either one of these. If that's sort of the effect that you're going for,
Yeah.
then by all means.
Yeah, I think as long as you know the type of photography that you want to do, like if you want a really diffuse kind of glow that you get, Canon Dreams, sure, it gives you that dreamy look.
Yeah.
I might not use it for video. That's why actually I actually never use it for video. Just because I don't really like that particular style, but I did use it for photography. So it depends on what kind of style you look after. Like for Leica, it's very it's much sharper in the center than the Canon one.
Yeah.
So it's something to consider. But the follow-off also is very nice on the Leica one. So
Yeah. So let us know what you guys think of both of these lenses. Which one do you prefer? Let us know down in the comment section below, as well as any questions that you guys might have.
yeah.
Otherwise, we hope you enjoyed this episode, and please don't forget to smash the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. See you soon.
In the next one.